Hi, my name is Kevin Yamada, and the character I play is Boss Suzuki in the upcoming film Ninja EX. I got involved in this project because the director, Aaron Yamasato, basically asked me to. And he's one of the kind of guys that if he asks me to do something, I'm just going to do it. Mainly because two reasons. One is that he's a really great director. You know, technically he knows what's going on and he has a really creative mind. And the second thing is that he's just a fun guy to be around. You know, he's very enthusiastic. He has this great, immense encyclopedic knowledge of movies, and especially martial arts and fighting movies, so that it's really fun. And with a leader like that, it just makes filming a joy. So yeah, it's pretty much whatever you ask me to do is like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Just tell me when, and I'll show up. So for this movie, for Ninja EX, I play Boss Suzuki, which is the leader of this band of ninjas and the Yakuza, basically. And we kidnap a girl and Ninja EX has to rescue her. So what I did for the character is basically took a look at the script and tried to figure out, okay, what makes this guy tick? And one of the things that I noticed about him is when he confronts the main character, Ninja EX, he starts monologuing. So the first thing that comes to my mind is that this guy got to have some sort of an ego, you know? And he says stuff like, you know, I respect you and I can see you respect me. So, you know, like, who says that kind of stuff? You know, it's somebody who has a kind of an ego. And although he's a good martial arts person, he doesn't do it for the honor and the discipline. He kind of does it to beat people up, you know? And for him, a great person who's in the martial arts is not somebody who lives honorably, but is one who can beat people up and is the #1 dog. So taking that in mind, I brought into the character, you know, I did some research on Yakuza and stuff, and it had a very serious tone to it. But when I read the character and then I read about how big of an ego he had, I kind of added a little bit of people that I saw or observed that had a bit of an ego. And I was watching Kung Fu Panda, and the character Tai Lung, played by Ian McShane, he had this kind of same attitude, like, yes, I'm a martial artist, but I want to be the #1 martial artist by beating people up. And he had this kind of extravagant, like, posing to the crowd kind of thing. And for instance, when, you know, he learns about Po, so, you know, he's like, Po, so that is his name. The battle will be legendary. And, you know, he finally a worthy foe kind of thing. So when I meet Ninja EX and I start monologuing and I said, you know, we'll finally prove who is stronger. So it has that kind of like playing up to the crowd kind of thing. So that was one thing that I added to it, like a kind of Tai Lung kind of thing to the character. And the second thing I added was one of my heroes when I was watching wrestling, pro wrestling, was Ric Flair. And his motto was, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. He did a lot of wooing. And one thing I noticed he always used to do was he had these big extravagant robes when he came to the ring, and he kind of put his arms like this and he circled around. And he just kind of took his time, almost like taunting the opponent before they actually went into battle or wrestled. So I kind of brought a little bit of Ric Flair into the character also, in that when he says, you know, we'll finally prove who is stronger. So I give a little bit of like a Ric Flair kind of strut around with the arms outstretched and turning around before you actually fight. Because I find a lot of times, well, especially for wrestling, it's like the talk before the battle and the battle that kind of makes the fight instead of just that fight. So it was those kind of aspects, to have a traditional Yakuza, you know, kind of seriousness to it, but bringing also like a Western style of like a little bit of Tai Lung and a little bit of Ric Flair that has that ego and that kind of flair to it. Funny moment on set. I'm trying to think. Well, right offhand, a funny moment occurred actually it was our dress rehearsal before we shot, was when in the script it says Ninja EX punches my character Boss Suzuki, and in slow motion I go down, right? So we did that in rehearsal, and when he punched me, I started flying, started going back, and then I noticed I was going for the table and the chair, so I didn't want to fall directly on the table, so I just twisted the chair and fell into the chair. And, you know, I think it's more a visual thing that, you know, it's funnier, but that was one moment. Well, one of the memorable things that about the production is that there's one part where I have to yell, "Oi!" Get in line, kind of thing, to my men and women, and they have to line up. And then the one thing is that they're making a lot of noise, they're fighting, they're the sticks, and then my voice is only so loud, and I only can project so much. So when I yelled, "Oi!" like I yelled as hard as I can, but there's only so much like one person can do. Like there's 12 other voices and 12 other like sticks. So what happens is that it was getting frustrating to yell over them, and and then I was trying to blast it, and I started losing my voice. And then what happens is that sometimes this character, like Aaron had said, you gotta be really pissed off and come in mean. So as an actor, one of the things, instead of getting frustrated about it, or actually I used that real frustration as motivation when I started the scene. Instead of like making myself not get pissed off, which I try to kind of usually do, I use that to get even more pissed off and then start the scene like pissed off. So when you see me walking through, that's me really mad. So it was one of those things where it was kind of fun to use different techniques to what's called your when you come in and the moment before the scene actually starts to get into that kind of thing. I found that it was one of the funnest, the most fun productions that I've done, because it was just a culmination of everybody's hard work. The stunt crew, they've been working on it for a year, they're working on all the stunts. Everybody who made the props and stuff is really cool. Sean, our DP, is amazing, so it looks great. So one of the things that is kind of cool about the project is when everybody gets excited looking at our like the dailies or what's just being shown on the screen, everybody's like, "Oh yes!" And then it's that thing where when everybody's excited about it, then it has to be good. It should be good. I can't wait for it to come out.